Ever feel like your partner is secretly turning you into uh, like a gym rat
Hmm.
or maybe a salad fanatic?
Hmm.
I mean, it sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but there's actually research out there suggesting our partners have like a way bigger impact on our health habit
Right.
than we think,
Totally.
like more than we
It's
realize.
true.
So the study we're looking at today is called Partner Influence in Diet and Exercise Behaviors,
Mm-hmm.
testing behavior modeling, social control, and normative body size.
It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful,
Yeah.
but it's really interesting. So, okay, we're not just talking about
Right.
nagging each other to like
Yeah.
hit the gym,
But
right?
no.
This is
Deeper than that.
deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, the research is more focused on this thing called behavior modeling.
Okay.
Think about it. We pick up habits, all sorts of habits, from
Mhm.
the people we're closest to. It's almost like their actions kind of become like a blueprint for our own.
It's true. And one article I was reading from Boost GB, they're really great at
I love Boost Judy.
making this kind of research accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
They pointed out that people with partners who work out are 13% more likely to exercise themselves.
Wow.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Had you noticed that at all in your own life?
I think so, actually. Yeah, now that you mention it, if
Yeah.
my partner's, got a gym routine down, it's so much easier to sort of like jump in with them.
Totally. Yeah.
You're more likely to have a gym buddy. You're probably already at the gym together sometimes anyway, so.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's those shared routines which Boost GB was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like individual choices.
Right.
It's couples establishing these norms, Yeah, these unspoken norms.
Yeah.
And those norms can go beyond working out too, right?
Absolutely. That same article even mentioned like a 20% increase in vegetable consumption when one partner loves their greens.
Okay.
So maybe date night at the salad bar isn't such a bad idea after all.
I'm sold. Salad it is. But getting back to like the research itself,
Right.
it sounds like that Boost GB article was actually
Yes.
pulling from 2 different studies. Is that right?
2 separate but related studies.
Okay.
The first one focused specifically on romantic couples
Okay.
and how their exercise habits kind of influenced each other.
Gotcha.
The second study was even bigger. They looked at families
Wow.
with kids aged 2 to 17
Okay.
and examined those same like influences within that whole family dynamic.
So, I mean, think about like how many of you listening
Yeah.
have felt that family like pressure
Totally.
or maybe even just the desire to fit in
Yeah.
when it comes to your health choices,
For sure.
It doesn't have to be your partner. It could be your parents, your siblings, even
Oh.
like close friends, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's fascinating to see how those dynamics play out in different relationships.
Totally.
And it's not necessarily about like direct pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more aligning lifestyles, finding those activities you can all enjoy together.
I see, yeah. And what's interesting is this research actually debunked a common myth.
Oh, yeah.
The idea that partners like try to push each other to have matching body types.
Oh, right.
So turns out the influence is more about actions than appearance.
Interesting. So it's less you need to look like me and more let's do this together.
Right.
Which is a much more positive and empowering message, I think.
Definitely.
Mhm.
It's like having that built-in accountability buddy.
Oh.
Someone to share the journey with. But, let's be real.
Yeah.
Not all this influence is, sunshine and rainbows.
Of course not.
Right.
It's important to remember that correlation doesn't equal causation.
Right.
Just because we see a link between partners' habits
Yeah.
doesn't mean that, like, one person is directly causing the other to change. Individual motivation still plays a huge role.
You can lead a horse to water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can create, like, a supportive environment,
Right.
but ultimately the choice to adopt those healthier habits lies with each person.
Absolutely. And speaking of choices, remember that stat about fast food?
Oh, yeah.
If your partner frequently indulges,
Mm-hmm.
you are statistically more likely to as well.
Makes you think, right. How do we navigate those shared food choices
Yeah.
in relationships while still, prioritizing our own health goals? It's a tough one.
It is, especially when like so much of our social lives revolves around food.
Right?
Think about it. Dates, celebrations, even just like hanging out with friends.
It's true.
Food's often at the center of it all.
And that's where those shared norms and subtle influences can really come into play.
Yeah.
If you're constantly surrounded by those unhealthy options,
Right.
it takes a lot of willpower to resist.
You're right. It really highlights the importance of, like, being aware of those influences
Yes.
and making those conscious choices.
Being intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do we even start those conversations with our partners?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Right.
And it's one we're going to delve into much deeper in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore some practical tips for
Sure.
communicating about those health goals and finding ways to,
Yeah.
support each other's journeys.
It's about working together
It is.
at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Finding those solutions that
Yeah.
benefit both partners and actually strengthen the relationship.
Exactly. It's about that shared commitment to a healthier and happier life together.
And if any of this is resonating with you, and you're interested in learning more about this kind of research
Yeah.
and how it can impact your life, I highly recommend
Yeah.
checking out boostgb.com.
Where they break down all this, sometimes complex research into
Yeah.
easy to understand insights.
They make research that matters accessible.
They do. And they have a free newsletter.
Oh, nice.
You can sign up,
Yeah.
get those insights delivered straight to your inbox.
Awesome.
Definitely worth checking out. So how do we actually start these conversations about health goals with our partners?
Yeah.
It's all about like open communication
Yeah.
and finding that sweet spot where your goals align.
Right.
And remember, it's not about,
Yeah.
pointing fingers
Right.
or making someone feel bad about their choices.
Right. It's not like, hey, you eat too much fast food.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of focusing on what they shouldn't be doing,
Yeah.
try framing the conversation around your shared goals and aspirations.
I see.
Yeah. So, for example, you could say something like,
Okay.
wouldn't it be great if we could cook more healthy meals together at home?
I love that.
It's like shifting the focus
Yes.
from blame to collaboration.
Exactly.
And you can even emphasize like the positive aspects
Absolutely.
of making healthier choices together.
For sure.
Like having more energy,
Yes.
feeling better in your clothes, or just enjoying, delicious home-cooked meals.
Absolutely. It's not about deprivation.
Right.
It's about discovering
Yeah,
new ways to enjoy food and fitness as a couple.
totally.
And don't underestimate the power of small changes.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't have to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight.
You mean like
Exactly.
starting with like an extra serving of vegetables
Totally.
at each meal.
Or maybe committing to like a weekly walk together.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like baby steps, but
Exactly. Start small and build from there.
yeah,
You know,
totally.
those small wins can create a sense of like shared accomplishment
For sure.
and momentum.
Yeah, it's like a positive feedback loop for both your health and your relationship.
Precisely. And as you start seeing those positive results,
Yeah.
it reinforces those healthy habits and
Yeah.
makes it easier to, stick with them long term.
That's so true. And, I think it's important to remember that
Yes.
not every couple needs to like become marathon runners or kale smoothie enthusiasts.
Oh my gosh.
Right. It's okay
Right.
to have those different preferences
Yeah.
and paces.
Yeah, totally. The key is to like find activities you both enjoy
Mhm.
and that fit into your lifestyle.
Totally. So like maybe one partner loves yoga,
Yeah,
but the other one prefers like weightlifting.
exactly.
Right.
That's totally fine. What matters is that
Yeah.
you're respecting each other's choices
Yeah.
and encouraging those individual pursuits.
Totally. Yeah. It's finding that balance
Yeah,
between togetherness and individuality.
exactly. It's so important for long-term success.
Yeah.
Both in terms of, your health and happiness.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about communication, compromise, but like let's get practical.
Yes, let's listen.
What are some tangible tips for actually implementing these changes
Okay.
and making healthy choices,
One really effective strategy is to just make it fun.
Okay.
Turn those healthy habits into opportunities for like quality time together.
Yeah.
So instead of meeting for drinks,
Right?
plan an active date.
I see.
Like go hiking, kayaking.
Okay, yeah.
Try a new fitness class together.
I love that.
Right.
It's about making those healthy choices feel like an adventure,
Exactly.
not a chore.
Yeah, something you genuinely look forward to,
Yes.
as a couple.
I love it.
And you can also turn meal planning into a bonding activity.
Okay.
Set aside some time each week to like browse recipes together,
Yeah.
try new ingredients, and create a menu that excites both of you.
It's like turning grocery shopping into a culinary treasure hunt.
Totally.
Right.
Who knows? You might even discover some hidden culinary talents along the way.
That's true.
Yeah.
All while nourishing your bodies and your bond.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And don't forget to, like, celebrate those small victories along the way.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
acknowledge each other's efforts, no matter how small they may seem.
Right.
You know, a simple "I'm proud of you" or "You're doing great" can go a long way
Totally.
in keeping the motivation high.
It's all about creating that supportive,
Yes.
encouraging environment
For sure.
where both partners feel empowered to
Absolutely.
make those healthy choices.
When you approach it from that, like, positive collaborative perspective,
Mm-hmm.
it transforms those healthy habits from a chore
Yeah.
into, you know, a shared journey toward
Totally.
a happier, healthier life together.
Which ultimately strengthens like the foundation of your relationship.
Absolutely. Because, you know, when you prioritize your well-being as individuals, as a couple, it creates a ripple effect
For sure.
that benefits every aspect of your lives.
So it's not just about, fitness and nutrition.
Right.
It's about investing in like the long-term health and happiness of your relationship.
I love that.
But what happens
Yeah.
when those conversations like get a little tougher?
Right. Yeah.
What if like you and your
Yeah.
partner
Yeah.
have very different views
Mm-hmm.
on health and fitness?
Okay.
How do you navigate
Yeah.
those differences without like causing friction?
That's a great question. Navigating those differences requires a delicate balance of empathy, compromise,
Yeah.
and a willingness to, like, truly understand each other's perspectives.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
So let's talk about those like tricky situations,
Yeah.
where you and your partner might not totally see eye to eye
Right.
on health and fitness.
Yeah, it happened.
How do we bridge that gap?
Well, I think the first thing is to remember. Yeah.
That everyone has their own journey, their own history, their own relationship with food and movement.
Right.
It's about approaching those differences with curiosity
Yeah.
rather than judgment.
Okay, so instead of thinking like they're doing it wrong,
Yeah.
it's more about trying to understand like
Wrong.
why they're making the choices they do.
Totally. Maybe your partner has had like negative experiences with restrictive diets in the past,
I see.
or maybe certain types of exercise trigger some anxiety for them,
Yeah.
Really understanding those like underlying beliefs and experiences
Mm-hmm.
can help you create like a more compassionate,
Okay.
supportive dialogue.
It's about meeting them where they are
Yeah.
instead of trying to, like
Exactly.
force them into a mold.
Right. And that's where active listening becomes so important,
Mostly.
really taking the time to hear their concerns,
Okay.
their fears, even their aspirations. It's creating that safe space, right?
Yes.
Where they feel,
Where both partners
yeah,
feel heard and respected, even if you don't agree on everything.
yeah, because sometimes
Right.
you're not always going to be on the same page.
Exactly. It's okay to have different paces and preferences as long as there's that mutual respect
Right.
and a willingness to compromise.
Compromise is key.
Yeah, for sure. It's not about,
Yeah.
one person dictating the terms.
Right.
It's about finding those solutions that work for both partners.
Right. Like
Me
finding those
too.
activities you can both enjoy,
Yeah.
even if they're not your like
Right.
top choices.
Absolutely. So maybe you agree to go for a walk together
Okay.
a few times a week,
Yeah.
even though, secretly you'd rather be training for a marathon.
Right. Exactly.
Or maybe you compromise on like meal choices.
Okay.
Yeah.
One
night you cook a healthy meal at home. The next night you enjoy takeout together.
Totally. Picking your battles.
Yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
finding that balance
Mhm.
between individual preferences
Yeah.
and those, shared goals you're working towards.
And remembering that change takes time,
Yes, absolutely.
like it's unlikely your partner's just going to like transform overnight.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Be patient, offer encouragement,
Yeah.
and celebrate those small wins along the way.
Because they add up
They do.
to big results over time.
It's not just about like the physical changes either. It's
Yeah.
about the emotional connection you build
Mm-hmm.
through those shared efforts.
Like you're building
Yes,
a healthier life,
exactly.
like individually
Mhm.
and as a couple.
when you support each other's journeys,
Yeah.
it strengthens your bond,
Yeah.
It creates a sense of teamwork.
Oh.
You're in this together, navigating those ups and downs.
Yeah.
And celebrating those victories side by side.
It's like you're both building
yes.
a healthier life.
A bit more
freely.
secure life.
Yeah, for sure.
And as a couple.
Absolutely. That shared commitment to well-being
Yeah.
is a powerful foundation
For sure.
for a long and happy relationship.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, what's like the one big takeaway you want our listeners to like walk away with today?
I think the most important thing is to remember that our partners really do have like a surprising impact on our well-being.
Okay.
Whether we realize it or not.
Right.
Their choices,
Yeah.
their behaviors, even their attitudes towards health and fitness can influence our own.
Almost like we're,
subtly
Yeah.
absorbing those cues from the people we're closest to.
And that awareness is really empowering. Absolutely. Once we understand how those influences work, we can make more conscious choices about how we navigate those dynamics, We can choose to surround ourselves with people who support our goals, who inspire us to be our best selves. And we can learn to communicate our own needs and preferences in a way that fosters understanding and collaboration.
So it's about taking ownership of our own health journeys.
For sure.
But also recognizing like that power of connection and influence
Absolutely.
in shaping those journeys.
And when we approach those relationships with intentionality and compassion, we create a ripple effect that extends far beyond our own individual well-being.
So it's not just about you and your partner.
It's about creating like a culture of health and well-being that ripples out to our families, our communities, even the world around us.
That's a great point.
It is.
It's a legacy worth striving for.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we wrap up another deep dive.
Yes.
Remember, you're not alone on this journey.
We're all in this together.
We are all in this together,
Learning, growing, striving to live our healthiest, happiest lives.
Absolutely. And for more great insights on health and well-being, don't forget to check out Boost GB.
Yes.
At boostgb.com.
They have a fantastic free newsletter.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
Packed with evidence-based tips and research.
Awesome.
To help you, level up your well-being.
And now we'll leave you with this thought-provoking question to ponder. Think about your closest relationships. How have they shaped your approach to health and fitness?
Yeah.
For better or for worse? We encourage you to reflect on those influences. And consider how you can use this newfound awareness to create even stronger, healthier connections with the people you love.
That's beautiful.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep diving deep.